It is time to talk to our South American football expert, Tim Vickery, who joins us live from Brazil. Tim, great to catch up with you on this transfer deadline day. We've got to start by talking about Cristiano Ronaldo, though confirmed this morning as a Manchester United player once again. Cast your mind back to Friday, though. We were talking about the likelihood of him moving to Manchester City. This one, though, makes a bit more sense, doesn't it?
Well, what a great move for the Premier League. Because the Premier League really needs, doesn't it, a United full of swagger. It doesn't want a mediocre United, and Ronaldo certainly brings the swagger to the table. And with all the pace that they've got to surround him, it looks like a lovely mix there. You lot have had an exciting time, haven't you? I think you probably need to lie down and until the next transfer window.
Yeah, absolutely. Plenty, of course, still could happen today as well. Tottenham, they've agreed a deal for Emerson Royal. Just tell us a bit about the player and what he'll bring to the Premier League.
Well, he's an attacking right back. He's a kind of strapping figure in the mould, perhaps, of Maicon, which may not impress Tottenham fans too much after what Gareth Bale did to him. The Royale thing is not his actual name. It's a nickname. His uncle gave it to him because he thought that the youngster reminded him of a cartoon that's used to sell a local brand of jelly by the name of Royale. And to be fair to him, his career so far, it's a little bit shaky. He was a reserve in Brazil. He played for Brazil at under-20 level, though not very well. Barcelona picked him up really on promise, didn't use him. A couple of seasons at Betis, not a lot the first season, better the second season. He's on the fringes of Brazil's squad where they have a problem with right back. But so far, it's much, much more promise than reality. Tottenham are paying a lot of money for him, so it's time now for the man named after jelly to stand up straight and put some solidity in that career.
Here, I thought you were going to talk about a food item from a certain fast food chain, because that's what it reminds me of. There's lots up in the air at Everton, so I'm going to fire a few questions at you now, Tim. What is the latest on Luis Diaz? Will James Rodriquez get a move away by 11 o'clock? And will we be seeing Salomon Rondon back in the Premier League?
Well, with Luis Diaz, the winger, it may well be that that's conditional on him coming in from Porto and James Rodriquez going back the other way. Porto is where James started his European adventure. But can he agree terms with Porto? Does he want to go back there? What does he really want to do? So frustrating, the situation with James Rodriquez, because he's at an age now where he really needs to play. If he can't get a move, has he burnt his bridges with Everton? He hasn't behaved very well, has he? Not even knowing who their next opponents are. It's very, very frustrating. And hopefully there's a resolution which will be good for Everton and good for him. With big Salomon Rondon, West Ham also apparently interested in him, and that seems like a no-brainer, because what you'd be buying there is a vastly experienced backup striker. Rondon perhaps never quite scores the goals that you think he's capable of, but he's got a solid track record wherever he's been, really. Spain, Russia, Premier League with obviously with West Brom and Newcastle, more recently China, and back to Russia, and a real physical handful for opposing defenders. So a backup striker and a move back to the Premier League looks likely, with Everton in pole position, but West Ham also interested.
Right, it'd be good to get your perspective as well on Willian's move away from Arsenal to Corinthians. Were you surprised in the way that this one happened, with him walking away from that Arsenal contract?
Yeah, we remember we were talking about this last Friday, and William's father said that the deal was difficult but not impossible. Well, Willian has made it possible by walking away from that contract. We don't know if he's left all of the money on the table, but he's certainly left a lot on the table. I don't know if you saw that fairly wounded post that he put on social media, apologising, really, saying that the Arsenal move hadn't worked out as he'd hoped, but also saying that he's now made it clear that he was never just there for the money. It was never all about the money for him. So he moves back to Corinthians, where it all started for him. Now, they've had financial problems of their own. They've had real problems paying for the stadium that was built for the 2014 World Cup. They've also signed a lot of veterans, and they got another veteran, the former Premier League striker Joe, up front. So we'll have to see if all these weary bones will work together for Corinthians, or if he's exchanged one crisis club at Arsenal for another in São Paulo.
And Joe up front, I love that. Tim, you said we might need a lie down because it's been a busy one. What has been the highlight of this summer transfer window for you, though?
Well, for me, it's still Lionel Messi leaving Barcelona, where you thought this would never happen until you get to the end of his European career, where maybe it's back to Argentina, perhaps more probably now back to the United States. I'm still trying to get my head around the idea that Barcelona have had to say farewell to the asset that gives you a guaranteed return in order to keep paying those assets that don't give you a guaranteed return. But it does make things very, very interesting, doesn't it? Because Messi and Neymar back together again. Pochettino teased us at the weekend. We didn't see them on the field at the same time. We will do, I expect, with the next PSG home game. And I find it fascinating how those two will relate, because they're obviously firm friends. But Neymar moved away from dad's house, if you like, because Barcelona was Messi's house. He moved away from dad's house to start his own family. And now dad has come to move in with him. What's dad going to say about the loud music? So the pair of them are going to have to change their relationship. And that I think is going to be fascinating to watch.
Tim, it has been an absolute pleasure speaking to you every week here on Transfer Talk. Thank you so much. We really appreciate your insight and your analogies. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you.